Welcome back to TUF Coffee Shop Talk. This week, we're revisiting a conversation that has really stuck with so many of you and continues to be a core philosophy in how I approach growth. How to get 1% better every day. This isn't about making massive, overwhelming changes overnight. It's about the power of small, consistent improvements in everything you do, both in your business and your personal life. If you missed this episode the first time around, or if you're looking for a powerful reminder of how those little steps can lead to significant results, then grab your coffee and settle in. We're diving into the simple yet profound idea of incremental progress and how you can apply it to your daily routine for lasting success. Hey everyone, welcome to my podcast, or welcome back if you've been here before. Pretty happy to have you here. My name is Rhonda Lavoie, and I am the host of TUF Coffee Shop Talk and a real estate agent here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Each week, you can join me here as I review the topics of the week from my weekly collaboration held at a local coffee shop. And each week, we have a different topic that touches on many aspects of our lives. And I feel touches anybody, no matter what their adventure is in life. They're self-employed, entrepreneur, working in a corporation, stay-at-home parent, retired, or in between jobs. I think there's just a little bit for everyone. So I'd like to dive right in. Let's get to this week's conversation of the week. How to get 1% better every day. Working to get 1% better every day is a sure way to improve your life. There's just no doubt. If you get 1% better every day for 1 year, you'll end up 37 times better by the time you're done. That's a quote from James Clear, author of Atomic Habits. So why don't we get 1% every day? Why don't we try and get 1% better every day? And really the answer is it's harder than it looks, harder than it sounds, because you need to create a new habit. So for instance, say you want to read every day, or you want to exercise it every day, meal planning, or you want to connect with somebody regularly, or journaling, or meditating, or whatever it is that you want to do to get that 1% better every day. It's not as easy as it sounds, because all of those things, the reward is so far in the future, it's hard to see it being achievable and hard to feel rewarded along the way. So it's easy to get discouraged and not create that new habit. But really, it's about creating tiny, easily achieved habits so that they become routine. So, for example, say you are wanting to read more, but you just don't seem to find the time. Well, by adding some intention behind your desire, you can actually easily create that new habit. And by what you need to do is create a reward that you can feel right away. So, we say, yes, we want to read regularly, but then, we wake up tomorrow and don't read. And then the next day and we don't read. And then the next day you don't feel like it, so you don't read. And then finally it's Friday, you're like, I'll wait till next week. And then Monday comes and you don't read. So we need to create those tiny habits, and we need to create the reward. So for me, what I've done, because as you guys probably know, I have a morning routine that I've created for myself. And I did not always do this morning routine. It's about 10 months old that I've been doing this. And it was work. But I created a routine for myself where I have different things that I do each morning, kind of in a pattern. And I've created a way for me to be able to track that so that I can get my reward every day. And what I've done is I've just basically created a little spreadsheet. And on that spreadsheet, I have a line for each of the things that are in my morning routine. So my morning routine, I do some meditation, and then I do affirmations, visualizations, a little bit of exercise. I actually do stretching, reading, and journaling. Those 6 things I do every single day. in the morning. That's my morning routine. And each one has a line on my spreadsheet. And then to the right, I have columns for the days of the week. And each day, it's so simple. Each day, I get to reward myself with a simple little check mark. Yep, I did it. And then by the end of the week, I can see that I did it every day. Or, maybe I missed a day, which is okay. Don't beat yourself up, but we'll get to that in a minute. But having that reward of that simple check mark, I actually use X's because it makes a little grid and it makes me feel good. But having that reward today helps me be accountable to myself, helps me be able to look back and see the successes I've had because I've had, say, a week that I've had all these check marks or X's, or a month, or, whatever it is. And I get that reward. And eventually that habit is created. On average, it takes more than 2 months before a new behavior becomes automatic. 66 days to be exact, according to a study. And how long it takes a new habit to form can vary widely depending on the behavior, the person, the circumstances. And in this study, it took anywhere from 18 to 254 days for people to form a new habit, which became an average of 66 days, 2 months. And interestingly, the research also found that missing one opportunity to perform the behavior did not materially affect the habit forming process. So, in other words, it doesn't matter if you mess up every now and then. Building better habits is not all or nothing process. So, if you miss a day, it's not like a New Year's resolution where it's like, oh, I got to wait till next year. Or, oh, I didn't get it this week. I got to wait till Monday. If you miss a day, it's okay. Forgive yourself, grant yourself the graces, whatever you want to say to yourself, and then start again right away. Don't wait. Just start again right away. One missed X or missed check mark is not going to prevent you from creating that new habit. However, saying you have to wait till Monday will definitely make it harder, or the new year, or the new month, or whatever that might be. So here's some tips on how I create new habits. The first step, identify the change you want to make. So what is it that you want to do? I gave some examples before. You want to read more, you want to exercise, you want to meal plan, connect with people, journaling, meditating, whatever it might be. So just what is it that you want to do? Pick one. Start there. Then determine how much time is required and when you can best achieve doing these changes. So how long do you want to do it? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, whatever it might be. And what time of the day and day of the week makes the most sense for you to be able to achieve it. For me, it's in the mornings because that's my quiet time. I'm up before my family. I have that quiet time uninterrupted. Makes it easy for me. But if you are not up before your family, perhaps it's after the kids go to school, or right when you put the kids down for a nap, or maybe it's during your lunch break. Whatever time you can best achieve doing the change. Third is the tracking. That's the piece that I talked about with my spreadsheet. But you can do this anyway. You can have a journal about it. And in that journal, you have maybe a day-to-day where you write down the things that you did and you can look back at what you've done. You can have the piece of paper spreadsheet that I have. You can have an electronic spreadsheet. You can have really, the sky's the limit. I can't even come up with any other ideas, but there's whatever makes sense for you. Whatever you will do is how you should track it. So just because I use this piece of paper that looks like a spreadsheet and I put my X's, that may not be for you. You need to have what it is that will work for you and that you will do it. And then the last piece is celebrate. But the key is determine ahead of time how you will celebrate as you reach each milestone. So today, what you're going to do is you're going to identify what is it that I want to make the change? What is it that I want to get better at every day? Then When am I going to do it? What makes sense for my routine, my life, my personality, all of those things? How am I going to track it? And then when I reach a milestone, how am I going to celebrate? So say I got 7 X's in a row, how am I going to celebrate? Maybe it'll be, oh, I get to take an extra long bath that day reading a book, or treat myself to an ice cream sundae, or say maybe you get a big milestone, say it's you've done it for 60 days and it's like, oh, I'm going to go buy myself this, special journal, or I'm going to go buy myself a new purse or a new pair of shoes, whatever it is that will excite you about celebrating, something that will give you that eagerness to achieve the award. So I'll go over it one more time. First, you identify what it is that you want to change. Then you're going to determine how much time it'll take and when you will best achieve it. Third, you're going to track it. Fourth, you're going to celebrate. So for me, I'm going to read every day. When? In the morning, every day of the week. How am I going to track it? I have my spreadsheet. So then I can put a little X besides read every day. How do I celebrate? I get to buy a new book. As you guys know, I like to read, so that's a good reward for me. This week it was a fun conversation to have with everybody that was at Coffee Shop Talk, because we all talk about creating new habits and we're like, oh yeah, I'm going to read, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. And then we just don't do it. But when you talk about it as a group together, you just create a little bit of accountability and almost that incentive to give it a go. So I think you'll see some of my coffee shop friends implement some new habits over the next little while. And some of them, brought some really great ideas of different ways that you could track, and how some of them are already doing that tracking. But I would love to hear how you guys implement uh, new things in your life, about how you try and get better every day. Just that 1% better. Remember, 1% better every day, you'll be 37 times better by the time that you're done at the end of the year. Well, that concludes our episode this week. Thanks so much for being here. It really does mean a lot to me. If you haven't already, please subscribe or hit that follow button, as I'd love if you came back week to week. If you're looking for more information on the membership, check out tufinstitute.com. Or if you want more information on me and my real estate business, check out theurbanfarmhousesaskatoon.com. Looking for my socials? I'm on Instagram as @RhondaLavoie_TUF, and on Facebook at The Urban Farmhouse Saskatoon, or Rhonda Lavoie - The Urban Farmhouse and eXp Realty. DM me anytime. I'd love to hear from you. I really hope you have a marvelous week, and I can't wait to bring you an episode again next week.